Hey folks, this is Kalani. We got another update now. I have put this off a little bit because I kind of wanted to grab everything that I know was coming in with this update. So this is going to be the start of the Halloween update, and it is titled Blood and Madness. Now this will hit on October 15th, and it seems to have a little bit of a twist. So a grim spectre lurks in the shadows of the Mad King's past. The Bloody Prince is coming to Tyria. The Bloody Prince emerges. Halloween is drawing near, and Magister Tarsi's instruments are picking up some unusual energy readings. The Mad King isn't the only one breaking through the barrier between realms. Prepare to face the son of Oswald Thorn, Bloody Prince Edric. Mad Realm doors, we're going to get those back. Haunted doors are appearing all over Kryta, where brave adventurers can dare to trick or treat. The Mad King's Labyrinth is coming back, but with a slight twist. So, the Bloody Prince has taken over part of the Mad King's Labyrinth. He's controlling the undead armies in the Mad King's realm, while his father retains command of the plastic spiders, candy corn elementals, and other festive frights. The Skeletal Lich, Grand High Viscount of Candy Corn, and the Labyrinthine Horror await interlopers. So, it looks as though we might get a few more things to kill in there, maybe, or we're going to have a bit of a faction fight between all the nice undead armies versus plastic spiders. I think I'll hedge my bets on the plastic spiders, definitely. Now we're getting the clock tower back. If if you haven't experienced this yet, oh my gosh, you're in for either a treat or a hellish nightmare, depending on how well your jumping skills are developed. But race against the rising madness in the Mad King's Clock Tower, Tyria's most maddening jumping puzzle. Can you make it to the top in time? Now, I'm not entirely sure, but I think we're getting back the exact same tower that we had last year. So, there may be variances, there may be slight differences, there may be changes, but I think overall it's the same tower, which could be interesting and a little disappointing. I mean, I'm still going to go run it again, simply to see what the new rewards are and to have fun with it. But, I don't know, learning the clock tower was awesome. Really awesome. So, if it changes, we'll see. Lunatic Inquisition. Join in player vs player madness and mayhem with the Lunatic Inquisition, where you'll play as either a villager, desperate to survive, or a maniacal lunatic courtier. Discover survival tools and hidden secrets within the labyrinth and try to survive the night. This is really interesting. This reminds me of all the maps for things like Warcraft 3, like Vampirism and Nightmares, where basically it'd be villager versus either vampire, monster, etc. And you'd be at a serious disadvantage at the start. You would literally have to gather all your stuff together, build yourself a little base and build it up and hope he didn't find you before you got to the point where you could actually defend yourself, which is really, really cool. I can't wait for that. That's going to be an awesome minigame. Now, the question there is whether there's going to be a reward. ANET seems to be really bad with balancing fun and reward, but I mean, I guess if it's amazing and an awesome minigame itself, then that'll be really cool. But right now you've got to think about dragging people away from world events, from gathering, and from Tekatl specifically, to kind of warrant them spending their time on these minigames. I mean, everyone's going to flood it for the start, obviously, but I wonder how long it'll stay popular. And of course, a developer live stream. Now this is following the recent trend of coming the day before, so this is going to be a preview. Take a spooky sneak peek at the Blood and Madness release with ArenaNet devs during the preview live stream on our Twitch channel on Monday, October the 14th at 12 PM PDT. So it seems they're going back to the preview rather than overview type deal, which is kind of interesting. It gives us a little look, if you want to have a look at things that are coming up. Now, some of this is very interesting. Some of the little next parts. We've actually got quite a bit more information on these, but features, combat quality of life fixes with new ground targeting options, improvements to targeting, and a new optimal way to display condition damage numbers. We're bringing in some great improvements to the way combat works, which is vastly needed. So right now, tab targeting works in that it will tab target to things seen on your screen, so via your camera. The change coming into tab targeting specifically is that it's going to change priorities, so it'll go for legendaries, then champions, and then toggle between the rest. And if you deselect your target, it will restart the priority list. So if you deselect a champion and there's a legendary there, you'll go to the legendary, so forth, etc. But the interesting thing is now tab targeting works off of your character's view, not your camera view. So you will no longer be able to tab target to something behind you, which is really nice. Trait and skill tooltips. We've improved the tooltip system for traits and skills. Traits now display numbers, and skill tooltips will show how skills are affected by equipped traits. So a lot more transparency and visibility coming to the traits. It basically tell you exactly how they work. So you don't have to go to the wiki to find specifics for a duration of a buff. For example, you get might on crit. Brilliant. For how long? The trait will now tell you, which is a very nice change. Transparency is very important in traits and skills when kind of working out a very nice build. Balance updates. We've made a balance pass on existing skills and traits with a focus on improving support builds in all parts of the game for all professions. So stay tuned for those patch notes. Those are going to be really interesting to read. All of these balance updates. Balance updates are specifically interesting to me. I like to know how they're throwing numbers around, but it's really nice to see they're improving support builds. Maybe having 1 support and 4 Zerka is gonna maybe take over the 5 Zerka build. Let's see just how much they buff the support builds, although that could kind of cause a bit of a problem in PvP and World v World, depending on how much they get buffed. I mean, if you're not going to be able to kill an Elementalist in a support build anymore, that might start to get a little awkward. Speaking of World vs. World, introducing the first World vs. World season, starting on October 18th and running through December 5th, we'll be hosting the first World season. We'll be splitting up worlds into leagues, and each world within a league will compete against every other world over the course of the season. Not only will you be rewarded for your team's season-long performance, but you'll also be rewarded each week that you participate. So, World vs. World rewards, definitely getting a treadmill here. It's going to get faster, you're going to get a lot more rewards if this continues. Interestingly enough, I wonder if October 18th to December 5th, if that's the entire season. And then we may get another one in January, maybe. We'll see how that works. But you'll have more reason to go into World vs. World, obviously depending on what these rewards are. One thing that is worth noting, I remember a dev basically jumping on a forum post, saying that anybody who basically, to get the end of season rewards for the top tier, the top world, or the top server, people transferring to those servers specifically for those reasons may not actually get anything, because you have to participate in the World vs. World during the season to get the rewards. And if there's always queues and you're not in World vs. World, then you won't actually get anything at all. So that may be worth considering. Rewards. We always like rewards. Sweet rewards. Get yourself some sweet rewards by participating in Blood and Madness content. Complete the Blood and Madness meta achievement to receive a mini Candy Corn Elemental, and follow the storyline for a Candy Corn node for your home instance. Adding more stuff into the home instance is really cool. I really like that indeed. We've already got the Quartz node if you participated in the Bazaar of the Four Winds deal. So you get a mini and the node. That's pretty cool. Candy Cornucopia. You can trade Candy Corn for new Halloween items like a mini Bloody Prince, a 20-slot Halloween pail, and special crafting items needed for Halloween weapons. So Candy Corn is going to be a currency, by the sounds of things, very much like how Zytaffy worked during the Dragon Bash. Now, interestingly enough, you'll notice if you search Candy Corn on the trading post, they are rather expensive right now. I'm guessing people are assuming this is the exact same Candy Corn item from last Halloween, and the supply has been quite hefty, obviously, until they start going up in demand. Now, that's kind of interesting, because people who are able to stockpile will be able to buy everything on the first day, which is kind of weird. But, I don't know, we're going to have another interesting time, shall we say, where Candy Corn is going to spike very high and then very rapidly diminish in value when everybody who wants what they've got has gotten what they've got. But that could be interesting. I mean, if they're using Candy Corn again this year, what's to say they won't use it next year? And if the same trend happens, buying a ridiculous amount of Candy Corn in the low coppers to sell in a few silver next year could definitely be potentially a worthwhile long-term investment. So we'll see how that works. Mask of the Night. Participate in rounds of Mad King Says to prove your ability to obey the maniacal monarch's whimsies and earn yourself a Mask of the Night. Which looks pretty cool, although it's strange to me that they're throwing masks out here quite a lot. We got random masks for the Queen's Jubilee, and I actually didn't see a great deal of them around, so I'm not sure if people are interested in that. We've got a few screenshots. That's a really nice Halloween theme. I really love when Guild Wars goes Halloween. It's so dark. That's part of the clock tower. One of our good labyrinth doors. I'm assuming this is the prince, which we'll either have to defeat. I mean, it's kind of interesting introducing us to a prince who, by the way, I've not heard of before this, so I don't think he is an established lore character. But it's like last time we defeated the Mad King in his dungeon. That's another thing to bring up. I'll bring up how they worked Halloween last year as well. But we defeated the Mad King in the dungeon, and that was kind of the penultimate win, if you know what I mean. And then he obviously came out and started telling jokes. But I don't know. It's interesting. Interesting. Is he going to be the last boss this time? And how are they going to work Halloween? Some more very nice pictures. Although I don't think these are Halloween. They are still Halloween. Okay. That's pretty cool. And then the mask. Got another wallpaper, which I'm a little iffy about this wallpaper. It doesn't seem to fit Halloween very well, except the character shown here. It should be darker with more pumpkins and candy corn. Woohoo! So this seems to be like we'll get everything at once. There's no mention of acts. If you remember last year, they did acts where essentially they were released over a few weeks, basically over the Halloween period, and we got something new every week or two. I guess that doesn't entirely fit in with how they're pumping out content with the 2 weeks. Which brings up another question: how long is Halloween going to last? I mean, Halloween as a holiday is only the one day, but does that mean that we only get 2 weeks of Halloween? Because this would be the second 2 weeks in this month of Living Story. I don't know, it'd be interesting. It's also strange to note that the previous Living Story installments haven't really been a month. We've already taken care of pretty much everything to do with the Twilight Arbor dungeon path, and this isn't adding anything to that, which means this may be a standalone, and that Twilight Assault is already over. Which is interesting. I mean, it might be long-term placements for the Living Story, and I can't really comment on any of it right now. But, for example, 3 updates on, we still haven't got any more information about why Tecatl was stronger, or Tequatl, apologies, has become stronger. And we were promised kind of an explanation and backstory to that through Living Story, but I don't know. So, all this information is available on, obviously, the release website. There's a few fan sites which already have it up, and a few extra bits. I don't think Guild Wars 2 Hub has any extra... Nope. Then there's the Reddit posts, which also don't seem to have anything extra. But interestingly enough, there's the old forum post about the October 15th balance and skill updates preview, and it goes into a little more detail here. Obviously, because this is older, it may not reflect all of what we'll be getting. This is nearly a month old now, so take anything here with a pinch of salt, but it does have some examples for the classes, so I'll throw a link to that in the description as well, so you can check that out. Apart from that, another update, another preview. Stay tuned, obviously, for the videos coming out. Remember, this launches on October 15th, and Tyria will get a nice spooky remake. So thanks for watching, folks. Good luck and have fun, and as always, I'll see you next time.